Maybe he thought it didn't matter. I mean, there's a lot of people today that take the attitude that full obedience to God doesn't really matter. What does it matter if I'm completely obedient to God or if I'm just partially obedient to God? I see that attitude quite a bit today. And that's the attitude that Jacob had here. Well, what does it matter? I mean, Shechem, Bethel, it's all the same thing. I mean, Bethel's just about 20 miles from where I'm at now. What's it going to matter if I go all the way there? I mean, I'm so close now that I can just go to Bethel anytime I want to. But how many of you know tonight that almost obedience is not obedience? Almost obedience is not obedience. It's not. So, whatever his motivation, he compromised. And he had failure here to follow through with what he was supposed to do. He failed to follow through with complete obedience to God and His Word here. Almost obedience is not enough. And we say, well, he was in the right ballpark. Well, being in the right ballpark is okay if you're going to a baseball game. But when you're talking about obedience to God, almost obedience doesn't cut it. It's not enough, my dear friend. Why? Because we serve a God who requires nothing less than full obedience. Full obedience to Him. We know this. I mean, we've read the Bible enough to know. The Spirit of God has spoken to us enough to know from the pages of the Word of God. So why is it then that so many of us are just like Jacob and we're inclined to settle for halfway obedience rather than going fully on into the house of God? That's what Jacob did. God demands full, unreserved obedience to Him. So the answer for Jacob is the same as it is for us. We are incapable of perfection. We are incapable of perfection. As a matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say this. Left to ourselves, apart from the Lord Jesus Christ, you can rest assured you will always fall short of the glory of God. You will always come up short, and so will I. Left to ourselves and apart from the grace of God, the greatest righteousness that we can ever put forth is flawed before God. It's filthy rags before God, and it's going to come up short. But it's only when God intervenes and God shows us His grace that we can go forth and put forth the type of obedience that's going to please Him.